After Congress enacts a new law, massive amounts of information has to be gathered, pages of policies are reviewed, a host of regulations are imposed, and in many cases, entirely new programs must be created. The people responsible for all these tasks are known as bureaucrats. They work in government agencies, otherwise known as bureaus. Their role has changed dramatically in both size and scope over the past century. Several pieces of legislation in the late 1800s changed the job requirements and procedures for entering the civil service. At the same time, Frederick Taylor's ideas of scientific management were influential among industrial manufacturers. Scientific management utilized new technology, new metrics, it defined ranks and wages, and segmented tasks in order to engineer more efficient manufacturing processes. And the promoters of those ideas assumed that right-minded agency directors would prioritize the public interest when making decisions, leaving profit, political ambitions, and other selfish motives behind. It was possible, they believed, to insulate managers from politics, allowing them to implement laws in an apolitical, impartial manner. Sadly, the ideal of an apolitical civil service remains just that. It's an ideal. Administrators, or bureaucrats, have incentives to maximize their budgets while carrying out legislative requirements that are often unclear and underfunded. Agency administrators operating with limited knowledge and resources must use tactics and strategy to build the favor of a clientele in order to survive. This clientele may consist of chairs of appropriation committees, lobbying groups, or other private interests that have a significant stake in guiding how law is interpreted. Today, any credible scholar of public administration will tell you that public management is inherently political. Agency administrators must play politics with their legislative funders. Bureaucrats at all levels find themselves ensnared in a web of competing political demands and often lawsuits. They also find themselves able to manipulate the system to impose their values. One example of bureaucratic manipulation is a tactic known as sue and settle. This tactic goes as follows. First, a special interest group sues a federal agency to issue rules by a specific deadline. Next, the interest group and federal agency negotiate a settlement agreement. Finally, the settlement is lodged in court and becomes legally binding for the agency. This process leads to costly new regulations, expensive court costs, and policies that are established with little or no participation from legislators or the public. In the end, what we have is a host of regulations based on the hope that impartial public managers can manage efficiently and scientifically rather than politically. Although the number of regulations continues to expand, the hope of an impartial, efficient, scientific bureaucracy is still just a hope.